Howdy folks, I'm Ruthless Ringleader, rudely ruining reindeer revelry.
I'm Amber.
And here's more reindeer revelry for us to ruin. Oh wait, I forgot to grab this. But we're going to be doing it very carefully with a whip. That's why they're so upset. As you can see, I'm a very good ringleader. Let's get started. And folks, we have a live stream coming up in just a little while at the end of the day. For more information, please see the end of the video. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Asking My Boyfriend to Become a Stay-at-Home Husband When We Get Married? I'm a 23-year-old female and I know that I'm attractive. He is a 23-year-old and he also knows that I'm attractive. However, only I am aware of the fact that he is attractive. My boyfriend is completely oblivious. He isn't one of those broad-shouldered, muscular guys, but he is fairly handsome. He also radiates golden retriever energy. You know, always friendly, goofy, and affectionate. We've hung out with his coworkers, and a couple of the women flirted with him. He assumed that they were only platonic. So I asked him to quit his job when we get married. I make a lot more money than he does. I can support both of us. When I told him that I don't want him around coworkers who could tempt him to cheat, he accused me of projecting since I once cheated on him with one of my coworkers. I suppose that I might have been subconsciously projecting, but I really don't know. It happened a year ago, and we really haven't talked much about it. Not after I apologized, and he agreed to give me a second chance. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, you're the jerk. I mean, people need to be able to have jobs and live their lives, and there are going to be attractive people there. Cheaters will cheat wherever they can find opportunity. It doesn't matter if he's working or not. Like, if he wants to cheat, he will find a way to cheat. And on the same token, if he has no interest in cheating, he can be with all the attractive people in the world and he still won't cheat.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he is someone who is going to cheat, then given the opportunity, then he would cheat, right? But I think what's more important here is OP's character, right? There's only one of them that has actually actively cheated, and it wasn't her boyfriend. So why does she think that he is going to cheat, right? Why not allow him to have his own free will, right?
Yeah, well, it seems like it's a very common mindset among cheaters is like, they want to stop their partner from doing the thing that they did. And so they just like, oh, gotta shut this down. Can't let you be around people because then you might do the thing that I did. And I don't like that.
When you think about her whole hiding the fact that he's attractive from him.
I mean, I think that's kind of weird. And like, well, attractiveness is so subjective. So like if she's actively like sabotaging his self-confidence to make sure he doesn't know he's attractive, that's not cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he is, right? And like maybe he's been kind of, maybe he's a little bit shy or someone who has a hard time getting along in groups of people. And maybe he doesn't realize that he is actually kind of an attractive individual, right? And I don't know, I just feel like her whole attitude here is actually kind of gross. I actually kind of hope the boyfriend finds a post like this, you know?
Yeah, well, I think he can do better. You know, it sounds like he seems like a decent enough guy from this post, and he deserves someone who actually likes him for him and not just as like their toy. Like, it feels more like a possessive thing. Like, you're mine, and I can't risk having the chance that I could lose you, so you are going to bend to my will and not be around people.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, she gets to go back to work and she can hang around with the guys, and her being attractive can be tempted by the guys at her workplace, right?
Right. Well, how would she feel? Because we see the converse all the time. That was what I thought about this. Interesting about this one is it's kind of the reverse of the typical situation. And how would she feel if the shoe was on the other foot and he's like, well, you know, you've cheated on me, so I can't trust you around men. You should quit your job and stay at home once we get married.
Yeah. And I think that would be a flawed point of view as well. And I mean, I think that OP really needs to have some deep thought about this. And I hope that they can think about this, because I just don't think their take here is good, right? I don't even know if it's ethical because of like the whole potential that she even might be like sabotaging his self-confidence. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, Let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Therapy.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, Wheel, you probably did a good job of identifying that one. And Dry Dunneth says, you're the jerk. Isolating your partner to keep them from cheating is messed up. The fact that you're a cheater and that he's not is the cherry on top. And Similaron 9017 says, OP is trying to add being an abuser badge next to the being a cheater one. I hope her boyfriend dumps her. I mean, it does seem like there's some very controlling, potentially abusive behavior here.
Right. Well, and it's isolating, if he can't work, and then if he's wholly financially dependent on her, it can get into financial abuse very quickly.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for leaving my husband after he won a large sum of money? Throw away for my privacy. I'm a 32-year-old female and my husband is a 36-year-old male, and he was in a work accident several years ago, and he won a court case in which he was awarded a sum in the multi-millions. My husband and I live in the U.S. and have been struggling for years, especially since his accident, since he hasn't been able to work a job in his specialty since. He's mainly been working minimum wage, low wage jobs because his degree and trade experience are in an industry that he can no longer work in. I make pretty good money and we live in the economic hellscape that is America. In the last year since the settlement, my husband has become the most smug, stuck up, and pretentious man that I've ever known, and I'm sick of it. Our family and friends aren't good enough for us anymore because now we have money. Our home and car and clothes weren't good enough for us, and anyone with a small house, a paid-off car, or mall clothes was sad and depressing. He judges people hard, and he's not quiet about it. He's mean and rude to other people that we interact with. Of course, we got nicer things when he received his money, but he was adamant on luxury things, and to him, anyone who doesn't live in a mansion on the hills with a Lamborghini and Gucci shoes is embarrassing. He gets upset with me for not wanting to spend crazy amounts of money. Why would I buy a $2,000 pair of shoes when I can get a pair that I like for $60? It feels like giving a child with no concept of money $20 and setting them free in the dollar store. He bought me a ton of expensive clothes and jewelry, new electronics. He pays for high-end spa days and even bought me a new car. I feel like an ungrateful bee for saying this, but I really don't like the gifts. Nothing is in my style or taste. He's buying it just because it's expensive. My husband harasses me daily to quit the job that I love and says that I make us look bad by working and making us still look poor. He gets upset if I want to go to the same chain restaurants that we've always liked, Buffalo Wild Wings, Jack in the Box, etc., instead of 5-star Michelin houses and sushi places because we can afford it now. He's even gone as far as trying to push me towards plastic surgery because we can afford it, so why not? He suggested a boob job, BBL, lip filler, and at one point where they remove the bottom rib. I feel like he's starting to think that I don't look good enough for him in our new lifestyle. We've gone to couple therapy and his attitude isn't improving. It's in fact gotten worse. And I'm miserable. This is not the man I married. I don't want to have kids and raise a family with him, but I'm afraid that if I leave, everyone will cry gold digger. We married when we were young and broke and didn't consider a prenup because we had nothing. Dumb, I know, but we were kids. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I wouldn't want to be married to him either. His classism here is really, really off-putting. And the way he's trying to turn OP into his little doll to fit his lifestyle is really gross. Yeah, divorce him. You wouldn't be a gold digger. I mean, you supported him when he was out of a job. Like, I don't know how anyone would even come up with that accusation that you're a gold digger for wanting to divorce him.
I think that OP should give him fair warning before divorcing him. Say, you need to change back to the person that I married, otherwise we're going to be divorcing here. And, tell him that and under no certain terms that she doesn't like the fact that he treats people poorly just because he has money now. And I think that at least giving him that maybe would be a wake-up call to hopefully make him turn a page here, because it doesn't sound like he was always like this.
I mean, money does funny things to him, and it seems like they've been in couples therapy, and he's only getting worse. So has to know how Opie feels about this. And my concern with telling him that, oh well, if you don't change, I'm going to divorce you, is he might take this time to like find ways to mess Opie over in the divorce settlement. You know, if he's given fair warning, like he would be the one to take initiative with the divorce and like get the high. He's going to get the most expensive lawyer anyway. He's going to have better means for the divorce, so.
Well, and that might be the case, but I mean, if she starts the divorce proceedings, he could still get a better lawyer and whatnot.
Well, he can, but he wouldn't have time to be as orchestrated.
Maybe. And I mean, you do bring up a good point. I'm not saying that you don't. I don't know what the right answer here is. I feel like at least giving him forewarning is fair, because like it seems like if he went back to the person that he was before, she would love him just fine, right? And I think it's just that he's changed into this greedy, arrogant person that she doesn't like now.
Well, certainly, but I'm just saying that it sounds like she's told him everything short of ultimatum. And if he needs an ultimatum to get his act together, then like that's not good.
No, I mean, that's fair. That's a really fair point. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And the data 9502 says, no, leave him. He is going to blow through that money soon enough. Keep all the gifts and sell them once you are divorced. He told you to get plastic surgery. If you don't, then he will just cheat because he knows gold diggers will be after him. And OK Ring 3261 says, oh my goodness, yes, he will just throw it all away. Get out and find peace and love. Leave.
That was something I was thinking too. I forgot to mention was that, you know, the way he's pushing cosmetic surgery, I have a feeling that his days with OP are numbered anyway. So better to cut before he ditches her for a 23-year-old.
Yeah, and I mean, I honestly don't know what their financial situation is, if he is spending too much money, right?
Which it sounds like he could very well be, because there are people all the time who win the lottery and then like lose everything inside of like 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like, if they haven't seen a financial advisor about how to manage this money, they certainly should see a financial advisor. Throwing money at people can be a very dangerous thing. Sometimes it goes very wrong, right? It might go opposite of what you expect. So hopefully they do have a good advisor and are actually investing the money or something like that.
But with his spending habits, it doesn't sound like it.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Give My Inheritance to My Mom After She Disowned Me for Marrying My Husband? I'm a 31-year-old male, and I have had a rocky relationship with my mom, Kara. Growing up, she was very set in her beliefs about same-sex relationships and race. She would often say things like, I don't hate anyone, but I wouldn't want my son living that way, and I raised you better than this. 5 years ago, I came out as gay, and I introduced her to my then boyfriend, now husband, Marcus, a 36-year-old male, who was black. The fallout was exactly what you would expect. She flipped out and told me that I was throwing away my life and cut me off entirely. When Marcus and I got married 3 years ago, she refused to come to the wedding, saying that she couldn't support my choices. We haven't spoken in 5 years. The only family member who really supported me through everything was my grandpa, Jack. He was the one person who accepted me and my relationship with Marcus. After he passed away 2 years ago, he left me an inheritance, which allowed Marcus and me to buy our first home together. It was a bittersweet thing because I knew my grandpa would have been proud, but at least he was always in my corner. A couple of months ago, my mom reached out completely out of the blue. After 5 years of silence, she said that she wanted to put the past behind us and claimed that she forgave me for my lifestyle. I was skeptical. She told me that the real reason that she was reaching out, she has been struggling with some health issues, chronic back pain that has made it hard for her to work, and she's fallen behind on her mortgage and bills. She asked if I could help her out financially, us using part of the inheritance from my grandpa. I felt torn. On one hand, she's my mom, and she's genuinely struggling, even if the health issues isn't life-threatening. But on the other hand, she cut me off out of her life the moment I didn't fit her narrow idea of what a good son should be. And she never once tried to apologize or make things right with me or Marcus. I told her no. I spent years building a life with Marcus, and I didn't feel it was fair for her to come back into my life now only because she needed something. Since then, she has been telling our family that I'm heartless and I'm letting her suffer over a grudge. Now I've gotten cousins and family messaging me saying that I should help her because family comes first, and that I'm being petty by holding onto the past. But to me, family doesn't disown you for who you love and then come back when it's convenient. Marcus supports my decision, but I still feel guilty. I know my grandpa cared deeply about family, and I don't want my mom to lose her home, but it's hard to believe that she's reaching out now because she actually regrets how she treated me and my husband, and not just because she's in a financial bind. Am I the jerk for refusing to let her have any of my inheritance? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. And she made it clear you're not family when she disowned you and didn't show up to your important life milestones. So you can tell all those relatives, well, she's not my family anymore, but thank you for volunteering. I'm sure she'll appreciate your aid.
I mean, I think that's really what this boils down to. I think that she made her bed, now she needs to lay in it. And I understand OP's feelings here, but at a certain point, she would just be using you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if OP wants to, they can give them money. I don't think there's anything saying that they can't give them money. If it would clear their conscience or make them feel like a better person, certainly they're welcome to, right? But they need to know that if the moment that they give her money, she'll be back asking for more money later. So I think it's just a matter of would they rather have a mom in their lives who's solely in their lives because they need money, or do they want to have peace and quiet away from this individual?
Right. Well, and if she did rectify her financial situation, I have a feeling it would be straight back to the no contact again. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised. I mean, maybe she would have a change of heart, but it's really hard to say, and I think that's really only something that OP can decide in the end.
Well, these change of hearts always seem to come when the person needs money.
Yeah.
Well, and the audacity of, I forgive you for living this way. There's nothing to forgive. You know, OP is not harming her in any way by being married to his husband.
Yeah.
You know, she's just a racist, homophobic person, and, you know, she doesn't deserve OP's kindness.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Knock, knock.
Greg, go away.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Spell.
Spell who? WHO.
Okay, since you asked, WHO. Now you need to stop stealing my lines. It's very rude of you.
How is it rude, Amber?
It's very rude because then I can't properly finish the joke.
And I have very rude Earl Grey.
I can see why you're a rude ringleader.
I am a rude ringleader. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, folks. I can't believe it. We made it to the end of the week. And folks, we have a live stream coming up soon. We hope to see you then, like today.
Yeah.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. Please have it as though you are a vampire queen.
Well, after hearing today's stories, I think I have some tasty morsels, OP in story 1 and some of the bad actors in stories 2 and 3 just may make a nice evening meal.
There you have it, folks. Eat. Apparently, if you're a vampire, you get to eat.
Eat the rich. We can do Eat the Rich. Oh, I should have done the second story.
But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.